सौम्या आती है जरा yes.
Good afternoon, students. So we are telling you about the open elective subjects, interior design. This course is a 3 credit course, and it will be 3 hours per week, total 42 hours, and you will have CIE marking and SEC marking. So this course mainly you will be studying, will be introducing you to the concepts of interior design and understanding various components of interior space and treatment and finishes for the same. We will be also familiarizing you to various components of interior design like lighting, landscaping, and furniture. So first unit, it will be relating to introduction to interior design, where you will be studying different design principles and elements of space like line, form, light, colors, textures. Next is components of interior space. So the different treatments and finishes given to flooring, ceilings, partitions, windows, and also considering interior space functionally, its aesthetical value and psychological impact on the user. So you will be creating a material palette using the different treatments. Next is components of interior space, lighting, and landscaping. So in this unit, you'll be understanding various types of lighting and lighting fixtures, their effects, and how it suits to different contexts. Also, interior landscaping elements. And at the end, you will have a design exercise. So you'll be designing a functional space, and a live case study has to be understood before designing process. So this course mainly you'll have the CIE marking. For portfolio making, it will be 40 marks and a CP of 10 marks, totally 50 marks. So minimum marks required to qualify is 25 out of 50. And in the SEC exam, it will be a Viva exam, and you will be, the minimum marks for this is 20 out of 50. So the assignments would be in the form of different assignments initially, then case study reports, design review, and design Viva. So next. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
PPT. Hide that. Start again. Okay. So this is Professor Vijendra Bro from Architecture Department, and we are offering a open elective subject that is a sustainable architecture. Okay. So for this particular open elective topic, we have credits for 3 hours. So there will be like 3 hour class per week, and the CI marking will be there for 50 marks. So whatever submission you do like within this semester, so that will be marked for 50, and SE marking will be there for 50 marks. For SE marks, you will be having a Viva's exam. Okay, so whatever you do throughout this semester, whatever exercise you do it, you need to present it during your Viva. So that will be marked for 50 marks. Okay, so in syllabus, you have like in course learning objectives, you have like sensitize the students to the issues of sustainability, to understand the need for sustainable architecture through traditional wisdom, to understand sustainable approaches in contemporary built forms in Indian context. Okay, so in unit 1, you have like that is for 9 hours. You are going to understand about the sustainable architecture, that is environmental and environment and efficiency, and the different aspects of sustainability, like how you manage the water and how you manage the energy, and whatever the like during the building construction, how you manage the earth also. Okay, and you're going to understand about the waste and materials. Okay, so whatever the waste material will be there after the constructions, or whatever the waste are there from the other industries, how you use this in particular building construction, okay, to make the building sustainable. So you're going to understand about all these methods. So how you manage the water, energy, earth, and the waste and materials. Okay. So second one, you're going to understand about the sustainable built environment, the issues and the approaches. Okay, so whatever the built environment will be there. Okay, so like what are the issues are coming while building any or like any campus or any house. Okay, so we are going to like understand about these issues and how you should approach towards these issues. Okay, so maybe like any material is creating like giving any negative impact on like total surrounding environment. Okay, so how you minimize that negative impact on earth or environment. Okay, so how you approach. Okay, so that you're going to understand in this introduction session. Okay, that is of 9 hours. And in sustainable concepts, you're going to understand mainly about how sustainable concepts have evolved in traditional architecture, that is in rural context and urban context. Okay, so we are going to show you some of the like projects in rural context and urban context. Basically, like the projects which have been done like many years ago. Okay, and how those particular topics or buildings have been approached. Okay, to minimize the negative impact on the environment. Okay, and then you're going to understand about the study of sustainable built forms and contemporary approaches through various case studies. Okay, so through this again, like what are the new methods or contemporary methods are there? Okay, in the sustainable architecture. Okay, so that also you're going to understand. Okay, based on the earlier methods of rural and urban context. Okay, so according to these two introduction and the sustainable concepts of 18 hours. So based on this, you are going to like start like designing a small house, okay, and that house should be designed within 24 hours. Okay, so basically in this exercise, again, you are going to understand how you should start planning of like small house according to your needs and the budget and available locally available material, okay, and what are the sustainable concepts, okay, based on like the climate of that particular region. Okay, so while doing all this, you're going to understand a lot of methods. Okay, so if I explain you like in simplified way, if you are building any of your house within this particular region, okay, so if you want to buy some material, okay, so if you buy that material from some another city, okay, suppose you're buying that material from Rajasthan or any city, okay, so to bring that material, you are going to consume the fuel, you are going to spend a lot of money. So to minimize that, if you use that locally available material, you are going to spend very less. You are not going to use the fuel which you are using it to bring that material to the site. Okay, so how you minimize all these negative impacts? So you sustain it and you keep that particular material or fuel, okay, for the future generation. Okay, so that is how you are going to understand this particular topic. Okay. So there are like a lot of other reference books that I'm going to tell you about like during while teaching once the semester starts. Okay. So for like CI marking, so whatever design you're going to do in this particular semester, so that for that you have like a 40 marks. Okay, so whatever house you're going to design, and then the class participation. Okay, so depending upon your attendance and like how you like answer your how you answer the questions whatever we ask, and how you like remain interactive during this overall semester. So depending upon that, you are going to get another 10 marks for the class participation. That will be having like total of 50 for the CI marking. Okay, and the SE marking will be there for 50. Okay, so for your Viva, so you are going to present your portfolio into Viva. Okay, and the minimum marks will be required to clear this exam is 20. Okay, during the SE marking. So please remember all these things. Okay, thank you. Okay, sir. Last. Share tab open. Okay. Okay. Hello students, I'm Architect Prasad Kulkarni from Department of Architecture, presenting you the urban planning syllabus. So we have got this a third elective, which is urban planning, completely different from previous two ones. The first one being interior design, which has a very small scale, and the second one, a sustainable one, medium scale, and whereas the third one has a larger scale while dealing with the projects. I'll just quickly go through the important features of this.
It has a course code HUM 6.3. It has 3 credits like the 2 others. CIE marks has weightage of 50 marks. 3 hours per week we have contact hours. And we have a sem and exam, which is a Viva, which has 50 marks. So in that Viva, you'll be producing a layout of urban land, where you have to design a layout for the given land. So in that short duration of our 42 hours contact period, we'll try to understand a few things. Okay, like I have tried to divide it into 2 parts. The first part has basic introduction to planning theory, where you will understand what is basically urban planning, introduction to aims and the objectives of planning, and how planning is interconnected with social and cultural, economic and political ideologies and important features. And keeping those things in mind, we'll try to understand planning and development of urban areas. So that will be again the first point under unit 1. Under second unit, we have understanding planning as multi-level comprehensive process of development through different stages and different scales. So local, urban, rural, regional and national planning. So these are different scales to look at, where you'll understand different scales and different scenarios. Okay, and the third point has introduction to scope and objectives of development plan, structural plan, master plan, perspective plans. So these are different plans where you will understand, depending on the criteria and different locations, you will have to apply different types of plans. Okay, so these are different types of plans basically. So you will understand the basic things about these different plans. Coming to unit number 2, we have a brief history of human settlements, where you will understand how settlement starts. Okay, that is origin, evolution, growth of settlements, and so on. So historic city of history of city planning, introduction to planning principles of cities of ancient civilization. Specifically, we'll take one Indian and one outside Indian case, to understand how we have all these things, the origin, evolution and growth of settlement. They play a major important role in urban development. Coming to third point, we have a study of planning of ancient Indian cities and Indus Valley civilization. So specifically, after our basic introduction, we have specifically we are looking at Indus Valley civilization in Indian context, which is if you just look at recent studies, they have found amazing things. So which is again will be part of this second unit for your study. So this part 1 has just introduction and looking at historical elements of urban planning and urban design. Okay, coming to part 2, unit number 3 and 4, they have applications. Let us see what they have. Okay, unit number 3 has city components and planning models, land use, activity pattern, density of population, population distribution, CBD, which is central business district, neighborhoods, urban nodes, fringe areas and suburbs. These are different parts and chunks of one urban fabric. Depending on these different elements and definitions, we'll try to understand different typologies of these parts. And model of land use planning, like centralized concentric zone model, sector theory model, multiple nuclear model. These are different models. These are proposed by great urbanists. Okay, so these are again theoretical background to support your new proposals. So that second part again covers theoretical background of your design theories. Then third one has study and analysis of residential layout in urban area. So coming down to scale, whereas this residential layout is neighborhood scale, slightly bigger than your one complex or one institute complex or institute scale. Okay, so it is bigger than that, whereas it is a just cluster of residences. Okay, so you'll understand how to deal with these kind of residential layouts. Okay, we will have one case study or study analysis of this kind of residential layout, which is in a particular urban area. Okay, and finally, after all these 3 units, we'll have to apply the techniques and theoretical study which we have done in all 3 units. So coming to introduction to surveying and analytical techniques, including household surveys, land use surveys, density survey, landscape surveys, transportation surveys, and services also have to be understood by just doing the surveys. Okay, so whatever we have under 3 units, those are all they will be conducted in class. Those are, they'll be learned in contact hours. Whereas this last one is very important, where you will be given a site, okay, and you will have to will teach you how to conduct these surveys. With these techniques, you have to go on site and document the sites, okay. So which will be very important thing, okay. You will be given a non-documented site, of a scalable size, and you'll be segregated in a group, in different groups, and you can go on site and document these different layers, we call them, okay. And then performance standards, spatial standards of utilities, they have to be documented and analyzed, and later you have to, based on all these surveyed information and analysis and inferences, you have to at the end design a layout, okay, design a better layout rather, okay. So that is the last important part of your complete elective, so which will be documented, and which will be produced for your viva, okay. So this is how will be conducting your open elective urban planning. So there are, like I said, there are two parts. First 2 units, they mainly talk about definitions, theories, and historical elements of human settlements and major civilizations, okay, and their urban settlements, okay. And the third unit again talks about modern theories and modern definitions, different models, and method of analyzing residential layouts. And at the end, fourth unit has again surveys, different different surveys to understand different elements of your urban fabric, which will be given in your studio, and then you have to analyze it, you have to document it, you have to analyze it, and then you have to propose some a better version of your urban design, okay, to that given site. So this will be your whole curriculum for your open elective. So like I said, I'm just repeating things. Since you have internal submission, that is CIE, which is 50 marks. So out of that 50, 10 marks will be CP. So that 10 marks will be marked for your seminar and presentations. Whatever civilizations you are studying in historical elements, historical backgrounds, you have to study that, and you have to present it in a class. So that will be marked for your seminar presentation. Okay, and then second part, which is very, very important, that is which carries 40 major marks. So that is survey and analysis of a sizable area which will be given, and you eventually have to study that, document it, and you have to design a layout for the same, okay, which is your major project. So I would like to show you Oh, is it? Okay. This is a presentation done by previous semester students. So here we had given a site which was outside the main Berlin core. So we had actually covered all different theoretical background and theoretical basis of your urban planning, and we had given the site in Ramtit Nagar. Belagavi. So we had asked them to map it on Indian map. So we had to map it and then zoom in your site. Okay, so that is your Kanbargi, and the given site was this. Okay, of a given approximate area. Okay, and we had to go through all the different layers like history, heritage, identity, culture, administrative profile, economic profile, landform study, topographical elevations, and all different elements like geology, environmental, climate. These all natural elements. Okay, and then the climatic conditions and water and wetland elements. All these things. And then we had to look at services which are in case if they're existing, we had to mark by visiting the site. Okay, and how waste management is taken care of in that given area, how energy transmission of energy, electricity, and other factors are laid out or present in the site. It had to be documented. Healthcare facilities, and coming to base map. So either this will be given or you will have to draft it. Okay, so different layers starting with roads, land use, social infrastructure, where you'll have to understand how many educational institutions you have, how many hospitals or healthcare buildings you have, religious facilities and community spaces you have in the given site. And in case if you have open spaces, you have to document all these open spaces depending on different typologies, different land uses like residential, industrial, green spaces, open spaces, and so on. And these are different layers where you will understand what has to be proposed later. Okay, depending on the age of buildings. In case if they're old, you can eliminate them and propose new things. So and coming to build versus open, this will give you an idea about which part of the site has open area and where and what to propose where. Okay, and at the end we have to understand the proportions. Okay, we have a standard guideline book which is known as URDPFI guidelines. Okay, so we have volume 1 and 2, which will give you a strict rule about how to give a ratio of different land uses. Okay, how to design these layouts considering these proportions. Okay, so based on that you will have to calculate the areas and plot use of that site, different plots, building height, road connectivity, and once you're done with all these different layers, you'll have to analyze few things, and based on that analysis you have to propose your new layout. So students had done the 3D of the site. So, and at the end we had produced their final project for their Viva. They had to produce their final year project. So eventually you will have to propose your final project. Okay, so which will complete your curriculum. Okay.